thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Yeah, of course. Oh, thanks for wanting to. Like I said, thank you for making the fan page and all that. That's
Yeah.
very flattering. It's gone to my head.
Now, for the winter, could you so first question, are there any plans on going to Europe in the future performing?
Oh gosh, you wish. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe I'd like to someday. That would be really wild. I'm going like a 20 something hour trip to Fargo in June to
Hmm.
play there, and like to me that seems like so overboard of a trip for what I do. But back when I did waves, I would get asked to play. I got asked to play Australia
Japan,
and
right?
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back then with what I was doing with waves was way more risky. And I remember Australia especially being like, "Well, I'll get stabbed in the stomach." That was always my thing with waves. I was like, I just don't want to get stabbed in the stomach. I don't know. I feel like that might kill me. And and I would always kind of opt out, and I'm glad I did. But now I don't know. I feel like if I came out nowadays to Europe and stuff, or where you're like in Holland,
Netherlands, yeah.
the Netherlands. Yeah. See, I'm not very smart because I'm American, but that seems pretty far away. But yeah, I would love to. Are there future plans? Not yet. Maybe like someday you'll put something together and we'll make it happen. That'd be cool.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are some questions here from the interview that we did already. So as I've
Okay.
asked before, what was the writing process for Wedge Crushing Piano Chords, and how did it change for Never Sorry?
I think Waves really was a lot of ad libbing. Like I didn't really like I cared enough to do it, but I didn't really care enough to put energy into it. So I would go out and I would do the shows and I would just kind of scream what screamed at people. And then when footage started, like people started taking footage and stuff, and I'd see it back and I'd be like, "Oh, that's what I was saying, huh?" Well, and then I'll like title that and be like, "Now it's a song," and press it on 1/7 inch and make it seem like it mattered. and, uh, and with never, I hope I'm not too goofy for an interview, dude. I feel like the old interviews I did that are online, I come across like being all aggressive and it's not coming across that I'm actually just really fucking sarcastic and like always joking around. So it's cool to actually do this.
Mhm.
But with Never Sorry, I feel like that's actually me sitting down and writing stories. And I don't know if it started out, I kind of found my style of writing with Never Sorry because I would write a bit growing up, but it was just kind of pansy stuff, like the first Waves demo is probably me just being like, "Oh, why, you guys, why," or something, and being like, "Oh, it's really good." And, and then Waves was almost me admitting I had no talent. And then Never Sorry might be me realizing that I can write. But I've had people tell me that the writing on Never Sorry is kind of like Shel Silverstein or something like that, or like I don't know, like those types of poetry books. But I have like no influences for writing. So
You
once I
just
tried
do
to
it.
start writing, yeah, yeah. Once I like tried, I'm like, well, never start. I'm gonna have stories, I guess. And then what I put down comes out, and then yeah. So I guess that's my answer.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, did you expect to get like an actual fan base growing up? I mean, not growing up, but
No,
starting.
yeah, no way, dude. No way. Like that's what I'm saying. You making that fan page and stuff. I feel like noise artists don't get that. Like, does the Rita even have a fan page? Everybody loves the Rita. I don't think they have a fan page. So no. I think when I started doing waves in the really early days, we'll call it the MySpace days, I was just expressing that I was like a pussy, yeah, rolling around on the ground and stuff. And then I think the leg break thing was a pivotal moment in my life where I was like, am I really going to keep doing this? Like, is this important to me? Like, because that was a big outcome for a stupid decision, because I was bedridden for 6 months after that. And the guy did try to sue me and
Yeah,
shit
he
like
started a
that.
petition, right?
Yes, he set up a petition with all these signatures of people that were there, and then it like went to court, and I had the video. They didn't know I had the video, and the judge or whatever the plaintiff, I don't know, was like, yeah, but why did you do that? Even though it's obvious he pushed me, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm stupid, and I took full accountability, and it just kind of got dropped.
Did you ever get in legal trouble aside from that doing show crashes?
No, God, believe it or not, no. I mean, there were times I definitely should have. I think back to, but I was kind of like escape artist mode. Like I would get there and have that minimal setup and like plug in and kind of like scope it out and see like what
Yeah.
I could get away with, where I can get the fuck out. And I remember like being at a stoplight leaving once, and the people inside like being on the sidewalk, more or less like throwing things at me, like and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm so stupid. But and I would have people like find the Facebook and threaten me online and shit, but oddly, no. Probably because when you're playing shows like that, nobody has the money to try and sue you. I think that guy with the leg break trying to sue me was quite like wow, he really wanted to make a point, I guess. That guy. But yeah, I hope that answers that one for you, homie.
Mm-hmm. What motivated you to start crashing shows when starting out?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I answered it. Yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
somewhere between like no other option and knowing it was funny. Because I think I never considered myself a very good noise artist, but I know I'm good at being stupid and funny and mean. You know? Because in the early days, I think I tried like getting good pedals and being like, yeah, and doing the thing where you like turn into it and the noise goes and everyone's like, uh, but I wasn't good. And when I tried to be good, it looked really stupid, I think. But I'm good at looking stupid, like unintentionally. So So I think initially I was just like, it'll be funny if I just nothing I play is what I was supposed to be on. And I was getting banned from everywhere for it, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
There's like from where I live now in my hometown, Rochester is like an hour in that way, and Buffalo is like an hour that way. And I was banned from like every little spot and every venue that would kind of matter.
Are you still banned?
And then I think they kind of forgot, or it's become a joke, and they're just like, all right, whatever, come on in. But I would always be wearing the face paint around this time too. So I remember the only time that came up outside of me trying to crash a show and like getting caught before I could was going to see Insane Clown Posse, and the like bouncer like stopping me and then kind of like looking around and realizing it is an ICP show, and he's like probably like, yeah, he's probably actually here for this, and kind of let me go. But in 2013, or no, it was probably 2012, a venue owner got a hold of me after I had been banned, and even though I like fucking pissed him off enough to ban me the night I did what I did, he had watched the leg break video since, and I think it kind of washed over him like this guy's a goof, just a big goof. And so he got a hold of me and was like, like, there's this show going on tonight. There's this metalcore band playing, and oh, they just suck, man. Will you come ruin it? I'll like pay you. And that was my first like paid gig. It was like a gun for hire at a venue I was already banned from.
His name was Jed, right? The dude.
Yeah, how the fuck you know?
I know a lot.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy, dude. Thank you. That's flattering.
So yeah, about the face paint, like what made you start wearing it?
I think realizing that not only was I not good at noise, I wasn't cool in noise. And I was just like, well, I'll just tap into the fact that I don't care what age I am, I will always be a 12-year-old fat juggalo, like I wasn't really cool. Like now, like kids can really find like cool music really fucking young and stuff. I found the Locust at like, I don't know, maybe like 17, and I felt like just like a genius. Like, you know, because like music makes you pompous. It does, you know, like your music taste, you pat yourself on the back and shit. And what was the question?
What made you start wearing the face paint?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I played some noise shows, and even though I was disruptive, it wasn't like getting the reaction I wanted. And I realized I think I like noise people more now, but like the early 2010s and
A
stuff,
lot of
noise guys
gatekeepers.
were like, yeah, 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 they sucked, dude. And and really, it shouldn't have worked as good as it did. I figured I would annoy people with this Juggalo power electronics thing, but I think what actually annoyed them was that it got more attention from people outside of the noise scene, and people were actually like learning about noise, being like because they're seeing mine and it was funny, and you know I'm a meme, I guess, if you will, and that's when I started actually getting hate from the noise scene because it was kind of like this. He shouldn't be getting attention, and that's too much attention for a noise artist. And juggalos are stupid, blah, 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 blah. You know. And yeah, I became somehow I put a target on my back there, and it like worked really well. So yeah, I committed to that. If you ever talk to some people, they'll be like, dude, he drove like 9 hours once, and you could tell he had the face paint on the whole
Oh
drive
my
just so he could
god.
show up and you know? And yeah, so I became really committed to it to the point where I'd run into people and they'd be there for like 5, 6 minutes, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, Sean! Oh my god, I've like never seen you outside your face paint." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I forgot it wasn't on," you know. Uh,
Let's see. How did you get into the sound of feedback? And like in the MySpace days, as you said, you were making like
yeah,
pretty standard power electronics. What made you switch from that standard formula to like just pure feedback?
I think I ran out of money because on yeah, you probably would know on the foot and mouth disease, the 212 inches that
Hmm.
I kind of do with them. I have the MG1 concert mate synthesizer, the Radio Shack synth, and I was trying to use that at one point. Um, but like the MySpace days and stuff, actually, I feel like that was kind of very feedbacky too.
Yeah, there was a
Is
lot of
I
feedback there.
Yeah, I think I was always when I first started making noise and I like tried to get cool pedals and shit like that. Um, you know, and you'd see how much money they were, and you'd see some dude making a video, and it's like, "Oh, man." But then you'd get something, and you'd be like, or I'd be like, you know, at the end of the day, feedback still sounds way fucking cooler. Like, and I think I'm trying to like do the normal thing in noise and like buy this pedal that makes feedback so I can be like, look, I control the feedback. But you can't control the feedback. You can't control the
Yeah,
feedback.
that's kind of the fun
And
part, you know.
yeah, and what little you do kind of kicks ass. It's like a theremin, like the biggest theremin
Hmm.
or something. Um, but yeah, I've been intrigued by feedback since I was like really little. Like I
Listening to
remember,
Weezer, yeah.
yeah, dude, yeah, how do you know everything? The way, yeah, the way that like, you know, and it's just like, man, I don't even know if that riff's good, but that feedback before it made it come in like it was. And yeah, I feel like feedback the magic trick. It's just
Hmm.
like I think people are convinced I'm good at noise because I make feedback, and really I'm just making feedback. So I think it's the magic trick in noise.
So, what were your feelings during the last show and in the last moments of the show?
In New York City,
Yeah.
at Fringe, oh my God. Why do you ask that? It was specifically the last moments of the show.
Just curious, you know, the last moments of the last
And
show, like the big moments.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That was one for the books, if you will. Um, it's really funny because Never Sorry's been around like 2 years now, it seems, but it really didn't find itself and become like a lyrical project till probably only just over a year ago.
Yeah,
And
25 with the to whom it may concern, 12-inch.
yeah, thank you. It's totally, you know, and I've had Bessie in the back of my head for years, like that. because I really like Rodney Dangerfield. He's the old comedian, take my wife, and all that shit. And I think I've been telling the I had to fuck her twice to fuck her once joke like out loud to friends for like ages. And I've always been saying like, hey, you got more bologna than a sandwich and all this shit like that. And all these zingers. And so I was really happy when those all like accumulated into this one song. Uh, and to whom it may concern, I think actually like defined what the project was going to become to me, like really odd storytelling and shit. But anyway, it's weird that in a year's time that I'm playing New York City, and man, everybody knew those words. They even knew the Sugar Creek,
Yeah.
like well, they didn't, but you could tell they wanted to, and it was like, oh wow, they just really like singing along. So the New York City show it should be my favorite, but my favorite of my life is that
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh one
Yeah.
that's on the yeah, because the reactions are really genuine. I hadn't really done it yet. No one really knew any of those songs. People were kind of groaning and fucking with me, and you could tell I had some old haters there that were like, what's he doing back type shit, and yeah, that just kicked ass. And then the one last week or whatever at Fringe felt like I had went through 20 years of waves again to end up at the very last show where everyone knew the words and I had like earned it because it took so long. And honestly, it was weird to be doing Never Sorry so briefly and people already are latched onto it in a way where it feels like I've been doing it 10 years or something like I did with Waves. And halfway through the set, I really did let that wash over me. Like before I did Sugar Creek, even I think I was kind of having this moment where I was like, man, this is intense. Like people really do like what I do. And I'm very fortunate and grateful. And I was going through a lot of bullshit too during that time. So to play Sugar Creek into Scene Queen was very, very cathartic. And that's going to be like a staple, I think, from now on, because that was like one of my favorite like transitions I've ever done in performing. But I hope you dug it.
Yeah, for sure I did. Yeah, I loved
Yeah.
it.
No. Thank you, thank you. You can, you can.
What made you get the SP44 in 2024 and consequently get back into noise?
Yeah. So that I like moved back home after this big stip in Georgia, and I did the Last Waves LP. And honestly, when I did it, I really did think I was done again. I think at this point I've accepted that if I ever say I'm done, I'm probably full of shit and I'm gonna come back again. But at that point I did think I was done. And I started going down a nostalgia memory lane of the new metal era of my life, because it really was defining to how I got into noise. Was there was this era of new metal where there was always a dude in the band. There was usually a DJ doing some, and that was whatever. But then there was the dude that just had a box with buttons and he'd just be like, zap. And I was like, that guy rules. I don't know why, but that guy's got it all figured out. You don't even really have to do nothing. And I went down a nostalgia hole with that and started listening to Mushroom Head again, which I don't recommend. It's like I got into it and I was all like, man, those were the days. And I like started romanticizing having a sampler from back then and shit. And then like,
SP808.
yeah, the SP808, my first sampler. You're the shit. Yeah, I love you. And I remember at one point I was driving in the car going through my Mushroom Head phase again 2 years ago. And I think my buddy, I picked him up and he got in and a Mushroom Head song came on. And it was like, I don't really have guilty pleasures, but I realized in that moment I did, because as soon as I could hear what I knew my friend was hearing, I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. This sucks. I know." But there were bands like American Head Charge and shit who did that War of Art album, and I put that. If there is a new metal power electronics album, it's that. There's like no dad issues. The guy's just a total sleaze, and there's a lot of noise. And I found my old band Forever Ones Past was our name. I found their demo that they recorded after I quit. And so there are no samples on that demo. And the demo is also very embarrassing. Like, I'm glad I quit. But because I was going through that, I was like, I want to put the samples in that weren't on that and listen back. And I kind of started talking to the old guitarist, my oldest friend and shit. And that went nowhere, but it led to me getting that sampler. And it was kind of like, what is that, 25 years later? And I'm like, wow, samplers are easy now. You don't even got it. You just, you hit the button. And the one from back then took zip disks and it would load in the middle of a sample. It was really inconvenient. And then I got bored with that really quick because I think I was going through some like fleeting nostalgia. And then I broke out the 8-tracks and just kind of got into the whole like tape loop sampling. And then I was like, well, I can make a tape loop and then record it the day I make it and then like let it play for hours and then record it again to the next button on the sampler. And then I would have these like levels of degradation to it. And that's how I got really obsessed back into making noise. And then I made the Donald Curry LP. It's basically not even defining of Never Sorry at this point, I guess, you know.
Yeah, it's very different from other projects.
Yeah. I hope it stands out, you know, or something.
Yeah, it is a pretty nice listening.
Thank you.
So you've stated before, New Britain is one of your favorite noise albums of all time, right? Can you explain why?
Yeah, it probably sounds like what I do sometimes, doesn't it?
Kind of,
maybe.
yeah.
I haven't put it on I haven't put on anything that I grew up on, like in that regards, in a very long time. But if I recall, New Britain was just shrill and high, just that high pitched and just punishing. And I don't even know if it's feedback or the Wasp.
I think it's the feedback, actually.
Me too at this point. Because when I started recording the 8-track recently with Never Sorry, and the feedback, I would listen back, and because the tape is really like not good and warbling, I was like, God, that is that early White House sound where it's like you can tell it's one note being held out, but it has something to it that a synth can't do. And I think when I first heard New Britain, it gave me the same feeling that Cambridge 1969 by Yoko Ono gave me, where it was just like, this is so wrong that it's like the rightest thing I ever fucking heard. It's so blistering and painful. It's what everyone turns off as soon as they hear it. And yeah. And I mean, so I guess what I love about New Britain is what I love about feedback, homie.
Ironically, it's one of the most hated White House albums by the people.
Is that because of the context that I don't really understand, or people just think it's boring?
I think it's more because it's just boring.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. The ones that people seem to like more are the ones where I kind of find boring.
Like the laptop era. Yeah, like Birdseed.
Yeah. Like it's too good, isn't it? It's just like it's like they sat there and figured out what they were doing, and I was like, I don't know, I just didn't. Wasn't inspiring to me.
How did you like? You said it before. You actually made noise before you even knew it was a genre. How did you discover noise later on? From the internet?
Yeah, the MySpace thing. I think a big one that I found would have been, this was the era of Black Dice, Cocky SP, Two Dead Sluts, One Good Fuck. John Weiss was kind of like on the radar. And then like the indieization of it would have been like Animal Collective would have been kind of new at this time. And that was like the digestible noise. Look at that Italian thing I just did there. I don't know what that was about. And yeah, that, and I remember like the first video I ever saw of like a dude with the pedals, and he looked like he knew what he was doing, all intense, and I was like, what? What is he doing? He's so intense about it. And but I think a big one for me, because I was familiar with Yoko Ono and stuff, so I kind of had an idea that people did that, but not that it was like a a thing where in like every city there's a couple dumbasses doing this.
Yeah, surprisingly, noise is very universal. Almost every country has a scene.
Absolutely. Going right to the wire phobia guy that I released from Iraq. It's just like it's at every location, even if there's only one guy, it had been found. So
Yeah.
that is unique. But um, yeah, and then I found White House around that time as well. The MySpace time, and that was probably just because like a review of some noise artist I was looking up mentioned them or some shit like that, you know. Uh, but yeah, when I did discover that it was a thing that like anybody could do, um, I guess that did. I think Two Dead Sluts, One Good Fuck were really inspiring to me. Did you ever see the video of them playing in a barn back then?
No, but I know they were naked at that time, right?
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
video,
yeah.
yeah,
They
yeah.
get naked. Yeah, but the thing is that they were good-looking guys, you know? Like, cut it out, you know? So that cocky SP, like, that was a big fat dude dressed as a chicken getting kind of naked. And I was like, all right, you know, this is probably more my ballpark. And then Wolf Eyes was really big around that, like, really big around that time, actually. I think that would be an understatement. If there was a, it seems like noise is universally known now, in a sense. It isn't, but it seems like it. But when Wolf Eyes got released on Sub Pop, I was into it before that happened, and I remember the message board conversations of people being like, "Noise is fucking radio now," so yeah, yeah. But as much as there were things there that probably inspired me, I still felt like I was never very inspired by anything. Oddly, I don't know. Strange to
Interesting.
say. Yeah, anything noise wise. Yeah.
So what is the process of making an 8-track for 8-track stereo?
Oh, geez. Which I am gonna. I'm figuring out getting that player
Hmm.
replacement. I do want to release your shit folk that you do. I love your shit
Thanks.
folk. Yeah, dude, fix that. It kind of meditates me really well. But meditates. I sound like a douchebag. Um, but really, I guess I have to take it apart. Um, what I do now is I cut them to length because it's an endless loop inside of the cartridge.
Hmm.
And you used to be, if it were a 70-minute tape or whatever the fuck, I would just have someone's album loop and loop and loop. But now I've cut it down so that, you know, it's the right length and it'll start right when it ends, which because it is an endless loop. But you have to take the foam out because it's deteriorated. You kind of have to lube them up and shit like that. And then there's a splice that connects it that's a foil splice, and that triggers the 8-track player to go to the next program and everything. More or less, it's like I completely refurbish them and then customize them to size of the album,
Hmm.
you know? It sucks. I hate it. I like, I stopped doing it for so long because it was such a pain in the ass, and then I came back this time and it was even more of a bigger pain in the ass because now I had set standards for myself of quality. Because if you ever find any of the old hate tracks that I made, they're not done very well, and I did just like slap a fucking bumper sticker over that thing, and it was probably better. And then I came back and was like, I'm gonna do this right, right, and then the player broke, or it's probably not even broke. It probably just doesn't meet my standards, and I'm like, again. So eight tracks are a better instrument.
Hmm.
They're good for making noise, better than they are anything. That's what I've really discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what got you into ICP at a young age?
Oh wow. Oh wow. So a dude on the bus had the Riddle Box. He had a CD, and he had me listen to Chicken Hunting, and I was like, nah, I wasn't really vibing with it. Uh, But then he let me borrow the CD, and I took it to school. I had a Walkman with headphones, which I didn't do too often. I don't like headphones. And and it was the songs "Lil Something Something," which to this day I think is one of the best sex rap songs ever. It's just really fucking funny. And then Three Rings, which is pretty much like the fat kid's anthem. It was just like, I'm ugly and nobody likes me. Wah, 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 wah. Uh, and I was like, this is my shit. I want to fucking I'm ugly, you know. And and I became obsessed with it. And a year later, The Great Malenko came out. The Great Malenko. And just flipped everybody's wigs back. That was like a viral sensation at my school, like pre South Park, because I feel like
Hmm.
South Park was very viral for my generation. And everyone had like two speakers and be like, listen to this. And it was the Netting game, which are you into ICP enough? Like to kind of,
Actually, no. Surprisingly, I discovered ICP from you,
yeah,
from Waves.
you're welcome. So yeah, there's the dating game song, which in the 90s there were lots of dating game shows, and that was just funny. But my real entry to being a juggalo was this like gas station closed down and there was a cigarette vending machine. You smoke, you know about cigarettes. And they threw that out back, which could you even imagine? Well, you probably don't even can't like imagine cigarette vending machines, but
Yeah,
they were a
Europe is
thing. But
much more strict on that stuff.
yeah, but then for the place to just throw it out
God
back when they
damn.
were done, leave all the cigarettes in
That'd
that
be a gold
bitch.
mine.
Yeah, especially nowadays, dude. But yeah, I wanted to get the cigarettes out because I knew it was bad, and that was cool, and I could maybe like sell them. So I was like trying to break out that plastic that turned out to be like glass. I don't know. And I filled up like a garbage bag with these cigarettes, and I was like, well, how do I sell cigarettes as a child? So I was like, oh, dude, these twins, older brother has the Great Malenko CD. So I like dragged this garbage bag into town and went to these twins' house. I was like, I'll trade you this entire garbage bag of cigarettes for your older brother's Great Malenko CD. And they went inside. It took them like 20 minutes. And they came out and they only had the disc, and it was like fair trade. And I feel like that just getting into ICP, but then that deviant story, it's like that's when I became a
Hmm.
real juggalo. I stole for it. I stole from my clown love, you know.
Did you ever deal with being banned online previous to the recent happenings?
Oh, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, but it was like deserved, and I got the page back then. Because I like found like over 300 like adult VHS tapes, and I
Oh.
posted the picture of my car completely loaded, you know, and then the page went down. But this time was
Yeah, it's
just,
unjustified.
yeah, thank you. It really fucked me up, honestly. I hate to admit it because it's just social media, but you kind of lose a platform that big, and it's
Well, yeah,
like
especially
losing,
you lost the Beavis and Butthead account, which is like
yeah,
tons of years of
yeah.
work and tons of
Yeah,
followers.
yeah, thank you. And it was wholesome. Like all it did was remind people daily that Beavis and Butthead ruled. And they'd be like, yeah, like you never saw a comment section where people got along on the internet better than like that page. And
Yeah.
I recognized that, you know? And so to get that taken away so abruptly really sucked. It was just about to hit 100,000, which like big deal, but like kind of cool because it's been 9 years. Um, but apparently there's some mass meta AI glitch. It's hit like
Yeah,
hundreds
it
of
just
thousands of
sucks.
people. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It sucks. But honestly, what sucked more was losing the noise account, which I
Mm.
appreciate. First of all, you having the fan page to help me bring
Yeah.
back my
And I
page
thankfully
back.
archived almost all the posts on the Instagram page.
Uh, yeah, I forget who I'm talking to a bit here. You're the guy that's finding all my mistakes and preserving them and shit. Oh,
Found diminish, my proudest accomplishment.
yeah, I you sent it to me and I haven't put it on. I'm just gonna keep believing it's terrible. And 10 years from now, I'll put it on. I'll be like, "It was the best thing I ever did, man." Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but no, that's is what it is. Thankfully, like the lunch meat VHS still got
Hmm.
promoted well, but you know, thanks to you and shit.
Yeah,
So thank you. Homie.
of
You
course.
kick ass.
Thanks. Um, yeah, when you started Voice Crashing Piano Chords, you had no set lyrics from crashing shows. Like, what would you usually scream about?
I know that in the video where my leg's broken, I'm yelling, "I hate being the hypocrite and negative." Uh, just to put you on the page, like where I was just a sad kid.
Mm.
Probably like those really early shows. I was probably like, "Why'd she leave?" I don't fucking know. Uh, One thing I'll tell you that I have, my buddy Austin reminded me in the early days of Waves, I would end sets with Whitney Houston's "What's Love Got to Do with It?" Like, not like the song would come on, but I'd be like, "What's that?" I'd like cry on people or something. It was really fucking lame. Uh, so shit like that, if that's an answer at all.
Yeah, that is an answer.
Yeah, thank you.
So, you released, I think, 2 releases in total under just the name Sean Beard, right? The Make Him Laugh in one song. What made you release those 2 just under the name Sean Beard?
Oh wow, I don't. One song was just I just probably didn't know what I did. It's a George Jones cover um, of "The King Is Gone and So Are You," and it was like a really brief phase where I had a guitar and could kind of play. I think, and even then, I was smearing it with noise to like cover up that I suck. It wasn't good. And then the "Make 'Em Laugh," which I really didn't expect you to bring up. I don't know. I played drums in bands years ago. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I've seen a video of you actually playing them.
Yeah. And they were never my drums. I was never good at anything, so I didn't even have drums. And so when that band ended, the kid like took his drums back, and I got some drums. And I what would that be like? 2023 is when I did Make 'Em
Yeah,
Laugh. Does that sound
2023.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think I was just starting that new metal nostalgia thing that we were talking about earlier. And so I got some drums and I thought about like the early Slipknot, which I don't know if you ever got really into like early
Never liked new
Slipknot,
metal,
but
to be honest.
no shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't blame you, dude.
the only
Like,
metal I like really is black metal. It's like just pretentious
oh,
edginess.
wow. Well, that's like in your blood, isn't it? Because of where you live or something.
No, it started in Norway actually, so not really.
Was that? See, I'm kind of with you. I don't even like metal. To like new metal is almost to like hate metal more, if you
Yeah,
think about
new
it.
metal is really very different from other metal genres.
Yeah, it's like louder dad rock. It
Yeah.
sucks ass. Yeah. So anything I could recommend you where I'm like, this inspired Never Sorry, you'd be like, why? It's so oh, what were we on though? What was the question I
The
kind of lost?
Sean Beard acronym and the 2 releases under it.
Oh, yeah, so I got the drums and then like I tried drumming again for a bit and like without a band, it's like what do you do? So I don't know, I just kind of tapped into that new metal like mindset of early Slipknot and it ended up just coming out as like waves with drums probably. It probably doesn't sound like new metal at all, does it?
Doesn't really. It sounds actually a really interesting combination. I've never really heard anything like that before. So it's a rare release,
Really?
I'd say.
Oh, that's cool, dude. Yeah, I don't know what I land. I was really gonna ask you, like, what do you make of it? So
I enjoy
I'll
it.
let you
Yeah.
be that.
I mean, I enjoy pretty much
Thanks.
anything you ever make. So
Ah, thanks, dude.
I don't think there's like
you're
actually one release from you that I like actually do like dislike passionately.
wow. Wow, that's like isn't that like the best thing you could ever hear as an artist if you
Yeah.
think about it? I know everything I do and make I like more than the last thing I did, and I'm a very like now I'm final type motherfucker. So like I recorded Sugar Creek, which I think is the best thing I'll
Oh
ever
yeah, Sugar
record.
Creek is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Like the whole atmosphere I caught with the
Yeah.
voices and shit. And and then I did that cover of the Negligible Wounds sound song. And from there I was kind of like, dude, I think this is kind of where the direction's gonna go actually. Like I really
Like
love
this
that. So
atmospheric, kind of eerie type of noise.
Yeah, and it doesn't really capture how I perform it all live, because live I think is
Yeah,
always
it's
just going to be
I
a
enjoy
blunt
actually how like
thing.
very differently it is live and in recordings. Like you take Bessie
Good,
for
thanks.
example. Like Bessie is fairly calm as a song, just
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
then you just scream
I
it out loud in the performances.
No, thank you. I None of that was intentional. I think I just approach both with a completely different
Mm-hmm.
attitude, and
Yeah.
so then you'll have the recording where it's like, that's what I'm, and then live, I think I don't give a fuck still, like with Wade. It's like, I don't, who cares? Why am I even do this? Fuck you. So, oh, shit, yo. Mm.
Yeah, I think those are all the questions I actually wrote down.
Oh, damn. Well, that was awesome. Thanks. Thanks
Yeah.
for wanting to do that, homie.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
Thank you for having
you're
me.
gonna post that on the YouTubes and all that?
Yep, we'll do.
All right, cool. Well, shit. Thanks for finally meeting me in person, if you will. Give me an
Yeah.
actual man shake here. Let's see. Can you get that on camera? Hell yeah.